I'm going to need
Welcome back. Thanks so much for joining us. Judy Fagan is here to talk about something I have no idea about, and I may have made a joke about it I shouldn't have. Veteran Engagement Team. Yeah. What is that?
Well, let me just say why.
Okay.
I'm a DWI officer for 5 counties up here. We're familiar with one another because I've done prevention programs over the years. And the program I did was Last Dance. The hospital adopted that program last year. After 10 years, I was glad to pass it on. It had a great legacy. I've been on your show to talk about it. Last year at a conference for DWI, we have to go every year, a chaplain from the VA came and spoke to us about the system breaking down for veterans and needing services. And there are grassroots groups going around the state of Arkansas as well across the nation that are coming out of Washington called VA Clergy Partnership for Rural Veterans. And what they're trying to do is develop teams that will introduce the clergy and the faith community on a better way to serve the veterans and their families. We have over 6,000 registered vets in Baxter County, over 3,000 in Marion County. We have a lot that aren't registered. Same in the drug and alcohol field. We're starved for treatment and places to get people help. The VA is just overloaded.
I bet.
And we have had about 5 suicides in this area in the last year that were Vietnam vet related. When I came back, he spoke to us about we do community service in our contract. So I'm always going to be in community service as part of the DWI contract. Came back, and in March I was invited to a special training where they came from Washington and North Carolina, and it was strictly for 75 ministers in the state of Arkansas to give them the tools to give veterans a softer landing coming home, and veterans that were being deployed to go in and start helping their families in a greater way. You know, we celebrate things for veterans about 3 or 4 times a year, but we don't really engage in personal contact. And in some cases, that's hard to do. They come home with PTSD or traumatic brain injury, and it's hard to make that connection. But we know that their families are probably in church. I bet every church in Baxter and Marion County's got a veteran in it. So I went to this, they let me go to the training because I was in drug and alcohol counseling and mental health community. So got a lot of information. While I was there, where they gave us a lot of tools, and there's a book called Welcome Them Home, Help Them Heal, and it is the part of the book talks about the post 9/11 soldiers coming home from Afghanistan and all the things they've been subjected to. The last half of the book is the church's role, and you don't have to be a therapist or a counselor or be knowledgeable in drugs and alcohol or any kind of mental health issues. You just have to have a heart to help somebody. And so this book walks people through in the churches that want to be volunteers, that want to have a ministry or develop a circle of care around the veterans and veterans' families in their churches. So it's a great little guidebook. Came home after that training, and I have always had the covering of the Unified Community Resource Council as a nonprofit over me so that I can put a shield between raising any money. And I went back to them and said, switch me from the Last Dance over to VET, and I developed the nonprofit VET called Veteran Engagement Team. Our resources are all the nonprofits in the community that provide service for veterans, and
so they're all part of that team.
I have Salvation Army, and we've got Paulette Hill's group over at Serenity, Bill Webster over at the Alpha House, Health Resources, of course, Wilbur Mills, the Treatment Center in Searcy. I brought all these folks together, and I said, let's brainstorm trying to put together a group here. I've got a name and I've got a mission statement, but I need to know people that are mandated to serve veterans. So we found all of those resources, put them together, and we became a group, an organization. And then from that point on, I started knocking on doors and raising money so that we had printed material. I'll give you some printed material, and explain who we are and what we do and why. There's a group in Pine Bluff, and I think one's trying to start up in Jonesboro. There's a real strong group in El Dorado called Project South, and So I said, okay, we need to introduce ourselves to the community, and we need to find veterans and their families, and we need to find churches that want to do these circles of care. So with a lot of donations from some really great people, you know, this thing I found out in this area, you could knock on doors and get help really fast. It's amazing how people are willing
Makes
to
the job
help.
easier.
Oh, it makes it a lot easier. And I went to grocery stores, and I went to businesses, and I went to our organizations like the Moose and Disabled American Vets and American Legion. And I said, here's what I want to do. I want to rent Beta Shed, and I want to bring us all together in September. That is National Suicide Prevention Month. And for us to have this kind of an informal training. And the VA from Little Rock's going to come up. They're bringing a team of 6. They're going to give instructions about PTSD, traumatic brain injury, addiction, women's issues in the military, and of course the most important, chaplaincy for veterans.
Now this event, is this just for veterans?
It's open to the public.
Anybody, okay.
That's
And
what I
what's the-
want to
what
really
date
put a
is that?
spin on today. It's Friday, September the 6th. That's the first Friday after Labor Day. It's from 10 until 12 at Beta Shed on the ASU campus. It's free. We're going to have refreshments served. We've got a beautiful ballroom. It's open to the public. It's for veterans, the community. But we sent 88 letters out to pastors in Baxter and Marion County, and we're hoping that they're going to send a representative. We know ministers are busy. We're not asking them to take on this project, but to assign it to people in the church that really have a heart for veterans. And come and be in that fellowship and listen to what the VA can teach us and tell us. And then we have a book to give them to go back, you know, to their particular
So this
faith
event
group.
is for ministers also?
Oh, yes.
Where they
I
can-
mean, our appeal is to the churches.
Okay.
But the thing that's been interesting since I started this, which was about 2 months ago, by the way, so it's been a whirlwind going to putting it together, but I got a call from one of the schools who said that found out what I was doing, and just through my conversations with people, and said, we want projects for our junior high kids to do to honor veterans. So give us a project. So once we do this big introductory, we get all this information back out to the churches. We will be an ongoing organization. We want to probably partner with 4-H to do a camp for military children next summer. We want to do this project in the junior high schools. We're all seeing, Bill Webster over at the Alpha House, who's homeless shelter for men, 25% of his guys are veterans over there. Paulette Hill, who has Serenity, are seeing female veterans come home in domestic battery situations. So we're addressing, I'm getting DWI veterans coming through that are medicating with alcohol and are coming through the system. So there's a real need for us to start helping each other. You know, when one thing breaks down, then it's really incredible to see how partnerships can rise up from people that don't have to really be trained but just care.
Before we run out of time, I want people to know that they probably should contact you if they're an organization that wants to be involved.
Yes.
And I think we've had your contact information up there.
Please come to that event in September.
And that's the Beta Shed at September
6th, Friday the
6th.
6th from
Okay.
10 a.m. until noon. And I'd just be so grateful if people will
Is there a
come.
admission fee to that?
No, it's free,
Okay.
and we're even going to have refreshments.
Okay.
The grocery stores
Good
have
for
all
you.
just supplied goodies, and it's going to be a nice fellowship.
All right. We appreciate it, Judy. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you for having
and
me.
we encourage people to be involved. That's great. You never stop. You're like the Energizer Bunny.
Well, I'm running out of steam. My battery's getting low, but I'm going to try for a while
We'll see
longer.
how this works out.
Oh,
and
thank
hopefully
you
it's
for
a huge
having me.
success.
I really
You bet.
appreciate it.
All right, let's take a break, and when we come back, we'll be talking to Bill and Trinica's self from the Bull Shows at Lakeview Rotary about the chili cook-off. Stay with us.